Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is April 27, 2023, and Atletico Madrid have begun negotiations with Girona's right back Arnau Martinez. Also, the club are still monitoring the Brazilian prodigy Kaua Elias. And finally, one more club have joined the long list of teams that are interested in signing Kessie come this summer. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and before we begin with the news, it's just a quick reminder to make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way in helping the small and humble channel continue to grow. Also, if you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the kickback. The link is down below in the description. Now, I'll begin with the news that Xavi Hernandez gave his first statements right after that defeat of Barcelona at the hands of Rayo Vallecano 2-1, where Barcelona failed to capitalize on Real Madrid's loss and failed to extend their lead from 11 to 14 points. And Xavi Hernandez said in the post-match press conference that he was annoyed at the result. Now, Xavi's exact words were, "We didn't play well. We were never comfortable in the game. The chances we did have, we did not take. Then the second goal really penalized us. We tried until the end, but Rayo are worthy winners. They pressed really well and we were never comfortable. The result really annoys us, but it's another game week down." Now, troubling statement by Xavi Hernandez, because he shouldn't be annoyed about what happened on the field. He should be absolutely infuriated because what Barcelona did yesterday on the field was unacceptable and it was embarrassing regardless of the result, because not only was it bad enough that Barcelona lost at the hand of Rayo Vallecano and that they failed to extend their lead over Real Madrid from 11 to 14 points, but what we saw on the field was absolutely unacceptable by one of the biggest clubs in the world and one of the biggest clubs in the history of football. So even if Barcelona had won, this was absolutely unacceptable what we saw, as the team lacked any kind of intensity and it seemed like they didn't even want to be playing that match, where the team constantly lost the ball. They failed to complete passes, they failed to associate together, and the team looked like an absolute disaster on the field. Now, Xavi Hernandez had more words in the post-match press conference where he said that that the message to his player is still the same, which is that La Liga is not done. And he said, "The message is simple. There is still a long way to go. Nothing is done yet. La Liga is not won. I have said it many times. It will take a lot to win it. Every game away from home is a battle. Madrid are losing games. Atletico are having to scrap to win. We have lost. But we are annoyed because this was a really good opportunity to extend the gap." Now, once again, Xavi Hernandez's words are troubling to me because he looks like he's trying to excuse the team's performance by saying that Real Madrid are losing, that Atletico de Madrid are scrapping to get wins. And I think that what we saw on yesterday's field, again, is absolutely unacceptable regardless of what Real Madrid are doing or Atletico Madrid are doing. I don't care if Madrid are losing or winning. I don't care if Atletico Madrid are scrapping by for wins. What we saw on the field yesterday was absolutely unacceptable, and Xavi should be absolutely infuriated, and he should be explaining why the team was not performing or not performing well on the field, instead of trying to find excuses or trying to excuse the team's terrible performance by pointing at other clubs. Now, yesterday's match was a clear indication that Frenkie de Jong cannot play in a pivot position by himself, because even though Frenkie de Jong has been superb the entire season and he's been one of the main reasons for the team's success, I think having him in the as a lone pivot of the team does not work, because Frenkie de Jong was exposed many times yesterday, losing the ball in critical areas and gifting the ball to Rayo Vallecano in their second goal. Now, I've said this many times before, but Sergio Busquets is probably one of the best pivots in the world and remains one of the best pivot in the world. So when he does end up leaving Barcelona, it's going to be a huge loss for the team, because he is the anchor of the squad and he knows how to hold the midfield and how to distribute the ball. And there's nobody else in the world who can do what he does. But nonetheless, he's almost 35 years old. So Barcelona really need to focus on trying to find a replacement for Busquets, because as we saw yesterday, Frenkie de Jong cannot be Busquets' replacement. Now, another place that Barcelona need to really invest their money, and yesterday's match was a clear indication of that, is the right back position, because as we saw, Jules Koundé had many mistakes and his performance was very poor in that position. But it's not to blame Koundé. After all, that is not his natural position. He's a natural center back, and every time his shine and had a great performance was playing in that center back position. He's probably one of the best center backs in the world, and to have him play in the right back position is simply wasting his talents and skills, and also wasting the 60 million euros that Barcelona paid Sevilla. So I think Barcelona really need to focus on investing on a specialist for the right back position, because we can't have our center backs, who are two of the best center backs in the world, playing in that right back position. Now, speaking of right back position, one of Barcelona's targets was Girona's right back Arnau Martinez. He's a 19-year-old right back who came up through La Masia, and it seems that Atletico Madrid are trying to beat Barcelona to the punch, as it's been reported that the Madrid-based club have began negotiations with Girona for the signing of the 19-year-old. Now, Arnau Martinez currently has a 20 million euro release clause, but Atletico Madrid think that they can get him for less, so negotiations have begun between both clubs. And I think this was a mistake for Barcelona not to sign Arnau Martinez, because he has been saying for many times that he wants to come to Barcelona, and given his low release clause, this would have definitely been an affordable option for the club. But nonetheless, Barcelona hesitated, and it seemed like Atletico de Madrid are gonna beat them to the player. Now, speaking of young and promising players, it's reported that Barcelona are still tracking the Brazilian prodigy Kaua Elias. Now, as I reported in a previous video, Kaua Elias is a 17-year-old center forward who currently plays for the Brazilian club Fluminense, and he just finalized the Under-17 South American Championship, where he was crowned champion with his national team and where he scored 5 goals and 2 assists. Now, Brazil is currently back on the map with producing some quality center forwards. They first had Vitor Roque, who won the Under-20 South American Championship, and now they have Kaua Elias, who just won the Under-17 South American Championship in less than 2 months. And Barcelona are definitely tracking Kaua Elias as a possible replacement for Lewandowski in case they can't sign their main objective, who is Vitor Roque, and who Atletico Paranaense are asking for around 40 to 50 million euros. Now, the only problem with Kaua Elias is, of course, that he is 17 years old and he won't turn 18 until next year. So if Barcelona do decide to sign him, they won't be able to until next year, because according to the rules, you have to be 18-year-olds to make that jump from South American to European football. Now, on to the news that one more club has joined the long list of teams who are interested in signing Franck Kessie come this summer, and that club is Juventus. Now, Franck Kessie is one of those players who could be offloaded in the summer, because Barcelona need to offload several players in order to reduce their wage bill so they can register the contracts of Gavi, Sergi Roberto, Ronald Araujo, and Marcos Alonso, and so they can also renew the contracts of Dembele and Alejandro Valde. And since Franck Kessie has a really good market value in Italy, Barcelona are considering offloading the Ivorian midfielder, even though Xavi would prefer to keep him on the squad. Now, there are several teams who are currently interested in Franck Kessie and are awaiting Barcelona's response, including Inter Milan, AC Milan, and even Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League. And it seems that Juventus have also joined the list of these clubs interested in Kessie, because they're looking to redo their midfield after the atrocious season that they've had so far. This is, of course, good for Barcelona, because more clubs who are interested in Kessie would mean that Barcelona could increase the price of the player. And since Barcelona estimated they can get 25 to 30 million euros, that value could go up even more, given there are more clubs who are joining this long list of interested teams. And of course, there is Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League who are interested in Franck Kessie. And as we've seen lately, Premier League clubs have plenty of money and are willing to spend way more than what the players are actually worth. Now, after the atrocious day that we had yesterday, watching the team embarrass themselves on the field against Rayo Vallecano, it's good to end this video with good news, and that is that the Barcelona Femení drew today 1-1 against Chelsea in the second leg of the Women's Champions League at the Spotify Camp Nou. But since they had won the first leg of the semi-final 1-0 at Stamford Bridge, the aggregate score is 2-1 in favor of Barcelona Femení. And with this, the Barcelona Femení have officially qualified to the final of the Women's Champions League. And this is the third consecutive final that the women's team has qualified to. And that's 4 Champions League finals in 5 years. Now, hopefully the Barcelona family will be able to win this Champions League, which would make it 3 Champions League in 5 years. And it looks like the first squad should be learning from the women's team, because so far they've had a superb season to add to many of the superb seasons these past 5 years. That is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I would like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. And as always, Visca Barça.